So children, now let's look at page 67 and mark in the syllabus block as per our revised syllabus, and then we will continue with what we have to do. So pick up your pencils and under the chapter 7, medieval India, the Cholas, what we have, topics which we have to do: sources, inscriptions and Brihadeshwara temple. Political history you strike off, and then we come to administration, Rajaraj I and Rajendra I. So I repeat which topic we are going to do: sources, from where we come to know about the Cholas, inscriptions and Brihadeshwara temple, and administration with reference to Rajaraj I and Rajendra I. Okay, so now we begin with the chapter. As I've already told you in the previous videos, we'll be talking about three southern dynasties, but with special reference to Cholas. A series of powerful rulers we had in this particular time. Two names we have just done, Rajaraj I and Rajendra I, and they are specially recognized or remembered for their superior naval power. They were a power to reckon with, children. In those days, we are talking about somewhere around 8th and 9th century AD, and then their naval power was in fact, they were the most superior in the whole of Asia. Can you imagine, in those days? And there were several women officers who were included in this Chola naval power, and I want you to do some research on this. Prime Minister Modi, some time back, he mentioned this in Mann Ki Baat. So you will do this as homework today, and you find out more about this Chola naval power, and then see what they were. We have Indian Navy, obviously. When we talk about it, we feel pride. And 2 days back only, this was in news that two lady officers will be posted on warships also, battleships. But just see, in those days, way back, we are talking about in 8th, 9th century AD, and then they were posting, they were known for these, women officers, how good they were. So this is what India is, rather. Yes, gender discrimination, we talk about it, but can you imagine women being part of battleships and power to reckon with? So that's how India is great in so many aspects. Especially when we talk about architecture of this particular period, you will be reading in the sources also, we took name of Brihadeshwara temple. So, and these temples are still in very good state of preservation, children. So my request with you to this also, that once this COVID situation is over, we only talk about Taj Mahal or these buildings which were made by Mughals, especially in the medieval India. But in medieval India, so much happened in southern India, which somehow or the other didn't get highlighted. Our history was not written by our own people. British made it right. But yes, sadly, after independence, we didn't do much changes. But yes, as a student of history, you must look into it again. We'll be doing one activity so that you can know more about these temples, and this should stay, memory should stay back with you, so that whenever you happen to go over there, or you look at them, so that you can recall that we did. So let's come back to their powerful Chola Empire, which was extended to Sri Lanka and Maldives, and we can say they were power to reckon with. Sadly, all these three dynasties, they kept on infighting, like feeling of hostility was there in between, and they kept on fighting with each other, and this became the reason of their downfall. So here the life lesson is, children, that if we be satisfied with what we have, they had enough. You will be reading. It's not that that empire was small in any way, but what's the point in fighting your own people? So this lesson we learn from here, and in fact, in Chalukyas also, when we talk about Pulikesin too, we'll be reading about him. So this is the most important lesson we need to learn from history of all the time, so to speak, that infighting never takes us anywhere. We need to be, when it comes to our own countrymen, we need to be, this feeling of contentment needs to take over us. So in the next video, we'll be talking about sources. Thank you.